Hey YouTube, Andrew here, a guy with a tractor. Today's video we're going to go over my gooseneck trailer that I use to haul my equipment around. If you want to see it, stick around. Okay, so here is the trailer. It is an Ironbull 24-foot powered tilt equipment trailer with two 7,000-pound Dexter axles underneath it. From previous video you saw that I had a 26-foot Ironbull that was a low pro sit down with, it was 102 deck, but it was a low pro, and had the full width ramps in the back. Love that trailer, pulled like a dream. One problem is I live in the mountains and I had about 6 inches of clearance on the back side, so I drug everywhere I went. So ended up selling it within less than a month of buying it, and I bought this one. You can see here we're right at 24 foot of deck, and every bit of it's usable. Some people say, well, you can't haul other stuff if you got a power tilt. You can. I very routinely sit my land plane right here, back up, drop it, strap it, unhook from it, drive off, pull something else on. If something's strapped on here, it'll hold when it tilts. It's not like this thing is sitting straight up like a dump trailer. So I've piled my land plane, grapple, forks, buckets, all kinds of stuff right here, strapped it, and still loaded the tractor with the bush hog on it back there. So it takes some finessing, but you can get a lot more stuff on here than what most people say you can on a power tilt. Okay, so on the front you got your standard 4-inch round tube with your angled cross pin, your set bolts, just flip the little latch. You got welded on places that your chains pin in. Got grade 70 chains, snap hooks, got a breakaway cable, and sealed wire or 7-way pin wire and plug. And then right here we have these little cutouts. It's where you hook your chains when you're not hauling the trailer and it's unhooked. So keeps your chains from hanging down or having to clip them somewhere. It's actually give you a little place for that. It does have a spare tire mount up here. I had to buy the spare tire separately. And if we step up here, it's a bolted on. You got 2 bolts. Unbolt it, rides right there. And it's not a fold down or nothing. You got to get up here, unbolt it, and let this thing down, or have somebody to help you and let it down. It's not too bad though. I put it up there and ended up having to rearrange it and put it a different way onto the studs, but it worked. So I know one thing everybody wants to see and know about trailers is the weights. So we're at 14,000 pounds gross vehicle weight, and 4,650 pounds is what they say the trailer weighs, giving you a payload of 9,350 pounds. You figure in some tongue weight, you can put about 10.3, 10.4 on here for payload. As far as jacks, I wanted the dual jacks and not the single jack in the middle. This one has dual 12,000 pound supporting and 10,000 pounds of lift, so 20,000 pounds of lift and 24,000 pounds of support with these 2 jacks. They are bolt on. They are a single speed jack, but they have the drop leg, so you can pull this pin, drop your leg down, and start turning it so you don't have to lower it all the way down. I don't find it too hard. If I ever mess these up, I will be putting a set of hydraulic jacks on here, because I already have the jack, or the pump and the battery and everything, and all I gotta do is do a little plumbing, put some hydraulic jacks, and bzz, up and down. And that would be nice, considering I hook and unhook this trailer usually on a daily basis. It gets tired turning that. Your jacks do have 2 grease zerks on each jack, and then along with this bearing that sits right here has a grease zerk on it. So if you use it as much as I do, you'll need to be greasing these quite regularly. Front toolbox on this, it'd be hard to do this one-handed. Got a very deep toolbox that is divided. One side is your battery, your power unit, and your control. It is power up, power down, and these controllers actually give you a voltage on them when you're running them. Has a built-in 110 charger, and if you can see it down in here, there is a test light to tell you how your battery is. Right now we're good, so I don't know if y'all can see that. It's tucked away down. I wish it was put up a little higher, but they did tuck it down in there. And then you got places to store your straps and extra stuff and whatnot. The lid is supported by gas struts on each side and has greasable hinges all the way across the back with a locking handle, so you can lock it and have all your stuff locked up and not have to worry about someone walking away with it. Some places, there's some videos I've seen on Ironbulls, people talk about one of the gusset plates that's right here. Some people have bit these all up. Theirs were like 1/8 inch sheet metal almost. This one is 3/16 or 1/4 inch thick plate, and for the gusset, welded all the way around. Pretty welds. I've not found any bad welds on this. Everything is welded up nicely throughout the trailer, front to back. I haven't found any bad welds. Everything looks decent. It don't look like it was made on a Friday afternoon by the new guy or a Monday morning by the new guy. Everything well built. No cheap metal that I've found on this trailer. Everything seems to be in par of what they would build a nice trailer out of. I consider this a nice trailer. Okay, so we're going to talk about attachment points and tie downs. So it comes with stake pockets about every 24 or 18 inches maybe. I don't know the exact measurement on them. And then in between each one is a chain spool. Now I love my chain spools, rub rail, and then you have 2 D-rings. Those are 1/2 inch D-rings. 2 in the front, and then you have 2 in the back. They work good if you're hauling like a car. You put it on here, you can go to those 4 D-rings with some little ratchet straps for cars and be good. But most of the time I'm using the stake pockets and the the chain spools. But they do go the entire length all the way down. And here's the other set of D-rings I was talking about. Then you also have these Y cutouts on either side of the ramp or the tail here that you can hook a chain into or something like that. And this is 3/16 or 1/4 inch diamond plate steel, so that's plenty enough to hold. It's thicker steel than the stake pockets are made out of, so I think it's plenty stout enough for securing a load down. Okay, so we're going to talk about the deck of the trailer. I didn't spec this trailer, so it comes with 2x pressure treated pine. It has got some gouges and whatnot in it. It's not oak. It will be replaced with oak if I ever replace it. One thing they didn't do is they didn't screw it on every floor joist. There's 16-inch centers and then some doubled up like here where boards meet. I've had one board over there. It's a narrow board that only had 1 screw in it. From there up to there, that screw broke. I'm going to go back and screw it on every floor joist, eliminate that problem. The over the wheel wells is thick diamond plate. Only problem with this is you are getting on and off machinery when it's tilted up onto this, so it can be a little slick, so hold on if you get off standing on that. And then you have your diamond plate back here and your cutouts for your tail lights when it's standing up, so you can see them through. The winch plate, it's a 1/2 inch winch plate. I don't know if this is standard on them. I know this one and the other one they had that was identical to it had it at the dealership. I do plan on putting a winch there for pulling up vehicles that aren't four-wheel drive, and especially when it's raining, it gets a little slick for vehicles like my tractor equipment, stuff like that. I haven't had an issue loading it, but some vehicles I've hauled around have had problems and had to be winched up onto the trailer. So let's talk about the axles and brakes. Dexter 7K axles with the never adjust brakes. When you first pull it off the lot, be prepared that the brakes ain't going to work for the first couple times you hit the brakes. After that, you will find yourself turning them way down. Haven't had any problems with them. All the axles are greasable with a grease gun. Pull the little cover off there and grease it. Now, one thing that a lot of companies like to advertise that this is a wet bolt, where you have a grease fitting on it. Well, so I was kind of disappointed that I didn't have a grease fitting there till I crawled under it and started doing the inspection. It's there, it's just on the other side. See, that's where I just touched it. It's got grease on it. They put this bolt in backwards, so if I ever end up getting this trailer up, I'll flip them around so my grease cert's pointed out so I can get to it. I don't know why it was like this on my other Ironbull too. I don't know if they try to upcharge you and sell you a wet bolt kit and just flip the bolt around. But just if you got one of these, check it. Check the back side and see if it does have a grease fitting so you can throw some grease in there. It come with the 10-ply tires. They're good rides. So far, they're wearing good. Got the correct PSI in them. Haven't had any crazy, chipping out or anything. And I turn it quite hard every time I come back into my cul-de-sac. I spin it around, and then when I back out, I'm cutting it on this hard asphalt. And so far, it's not chewed it up any. When these do wear out, I will be replacing it with 14-ply tires just for the extra cushion for a little bit extra payload as far as the tire wise, and the wear of the 14-ply tires is better. So as far as the trim, you got plenty of reflective, some cool little pin striping. You got reflecting all the way down the side. Every light on it is LED. You got LEDs there, and then you got all LEDs across the back. Along this bar right here, some more reflective all the way down through here, and then the same on this side. Now, all wiring is sealed, and all your wiring comes down inside that tube, and everything's sealed. That tube, when you fold it, is on a hinge, and it comes up and hides away and makes this level with the ground. So we're going to raise the deck up. When I push the up button, you can see the voltage right here. Thing's got a magnet on it. Hang it wherever you want. As far as the underside, you have 2 jacks one on each side. Like I said, this is power up, power down. You can see all your 3-inch structural channel cross bracing on a 4x4 thick wall tubing there. and then an 8-inch I-beam mainframe. The rails for the deck sit inside this. See all your sealed harnesses, wiring harnesses down through here. Thick wire, color coded. All your hydraulic lines are run through little grommets and stuff welded onto the frame. There are some grease zerks on the bottom of each hydraulic cylinder and the top pins, so you will need to get under there and grease them. There is no safety catch on this one to hold it up, so I don't raise it up and get under it and grease it. I'll just grease it off from the ground. There's plenty of room to roll around with a creeper underneath and grease what you need to from there. You'll walk around of how the rear tail looks once it's down. And at 24 feet, when it's tilted, you can see that as far as the height wise, let me get around this tree right here, you can see it goes up to about the height of the actual gooseneck itself. So it's not terribly high. Said it's very comfortable to walk on. I back my tractor up this very often, like I said, and I'll drop an attachment there. But you can see it's not that steep. So when you put an implement here and it's strapped, it's not going to fall off. Unless maybe you had something really tall sitting there, it might have some leverage. But implements and buckets and stuff sitting here, once they're strapped, they will not fall off. So as far as getting onto the trailer, it's not extremely hard. On the front, on each side, you have these steps with these grab handles, makes it really easy to get on. And then midway, you have the bracket for the turn signal marker light. That has a step right there that you can reach up and grab a machine and pull yourself up there. Mainly if I'm getting on the trailer for some reason, I'm going up that one, or the trailer's tilted and I walk up the back. I rarely get on the center. All my strapping and everything I can do from standing on the ground level, reach up and hook stuff, so I don't find myself climbing up onto the trailer that often, but it is nice to have the steps. So let's talk about some problems that I've had with this trailer. The wiring. There is a modular system as far as the wires. They got different pieces and they plug together. I was going down, we had went and picked up a tractor for my battalion chief. We were on the way back. We had just dropped it off at his house. While I was in the toolbox putting the remote back up, there was a grommet that where the hose goes through the back of the toolbox. It was coming off, so it kind of messed with it. Well, also through that grommet is the wiring for the brakes, and there was a plug right there. I knocked it, it ended up coming loose. Luckily I knew it. I was empty, so I didn't need the trailer brakes for one. My 2019 Ram 2500, this thing's empty. Honestly, you don't have to have the brakes. It's got those rotors on that thing are plenty enough to stop this, but it is nice to have it. And when it come disconnected, there was a notification that come up on my dash that said trailer's disconnected. So I was like, crap, what happened? So we were right there by the fire station, so we pulled in, we got to look in, and sure enough, where I'd messed with that grommet, the wiring harness had come unplugged. The only wiring issue I've had on this trailer. I did have the one board that's broke a screw. Only when it rains a lot does that board bow up. As soon as I get some more screws and time to go through here and drill holes and screw them all down, that will not be an issue. As far as that, the paint is holding up, or powder coat, whatever you want to call it. I haven't had any issues out of that. One tiny little issue on the brake lights on the back right here. You can see that grommet is kind of ripped. not that big of an issue. The light stays in there. If I ever get me an extra grommet one day, I'll replace that. Not a terrible issue. There's where your trailer tag mounts, and it does have a tag light. So, you know, I'm not worried about anybody reading my tag number and getting it. I don't understand. That tag's displayed going down the road, and then some people like to cover them up on Facebook, but whatever. It's my little vent for the day. So that is my trailer. All right, so there you have it. There is walk around what I like, a few things I don't like about my trailer, and I hope this helps you if you're in the market for one of these trailers. If you have any questions, drop me a comment. Check me out on Facebook. You can message me on there, and I'll try to help you out in any way I can. I was making this video mainly for Brock over at Rock Hill Farms. He's been messaging me about looking at bigger trailers for his tractor. He owns the same tractor as I do, so he's getting a 3/4 ton truck. So I've been shooting him a lot of information, and I told him I would make a video on it and show it off for him. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell notification for updates on future videos, and smash that like button. Thank you, and have a blessed day.